What's going on, everybody? It's Real with Jordan and Demi. I'm Jordan Edwards. Today we have Gabi DeMartino on the show. She's obviously a huge YouTuber, and she has a new single out called Heaven, which is a really confessional, lyrically raw song, and we'll get into that. And if you're just interested in what it's like to be a YouTuber and her, day to day and how she puts her videos together, this is also a good episode for you. Check out Demi's single. Demi has a new single, Boys Like You, that's out now on all streaming platforms. And look for our interviews with Tessa Violet. And we have an interview with Donna Missile up now as well. So check that out. And of course, follow us on Instagram. So here it is, our interview with Gabi DeMartino.
You look like a princess.
Oh, thank you.
Like,
you're
literally.
So
Sort of
thank you.
Like, everything. This is like everything.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
I just watched as someone who does all these vlogs from their home, are you always self-conscious about the way the background looks and if your bed's made and all that kind of stuff? That would drive me crazy.
Yes. And this is my office. So I was just, I had my cleaning team over today, and this was the room that they always have to clean because it's always a mess. And I'm like, crap, I have this interview. So I had to push it to 3:30 because it had to be clean.
Yeah. It looks great. It looks great.
Thank you.
So you got this. So we're recording this the day before Heaven comes out.
Mhm.
So it's sort of like the nerves got to be welling up. I know it's an emotionally raw single, the lyrics and everything. So the day before it comes out, what's your mindset right now?
I feel like the internet is finally going to get a confession from me about what actually went on when I was switching chapters in my life. And not that I wouldn't even title it a confession. It's just that it's my truth. And during that time period, there was too much going on in my personal life. The last thing I wanted was there to be chaos in my work life. So those who got it, and the ones that didn't. And I wasn't ready to talk about, I never will be ready to talk about what happens in my personal life. The internet's so different these days. It's like, I was on YouTube for 10 years. The first 7 to 8 years, you could talk about anything. You literally could wake up all crusty in bed and talk about this guy slept over the night before. Nowadays, people cut it up in a way that's displeasurable and make you look some sort of way on TikTok. Now that you have TikTok, anyone can upload anything, could tape it, shape it, cut it however they want to manipulate how you're being seen. And I mean, if you heard my song Immaculate, it's literally what it's about. But ever since I put out Immaculate, I would just say I put my truth into my lyrics because I could sing my feelings better than talk about them, nor do I think I will ever just sit and talk about my feelings again. Or like, not just feelings, because I do open up about my feelings on my channel, but never will I get like all nitty gritty and kind of confess my personal life.
Does that make you feel sad in a way? Or?
A little bit, because I grew up on the internet when like you really could just talk, But at the same time, it really has taught me all about privacy. I mean, I've been doing this for so long. I grew up thinking that being so open in public was a good thing. But now that I'm 28 years old, that's so weird to say. But now that I'm approaching 30, I think privacy is peace. And I think the ones that embrace and follow me for my art and my crafts are going to listen to it and get it and not misinterpret it into a crap way that like someone on YouTube would interpret. Because a lot of people also go to YouTube to get the tea and to hate watch. And, you don't really have the people with your best intentions on there. People who are streaming your music, what are they going to do? There's no comment section. There's no hate train. People are listening to you because they want to listen to you. So I think that's why I feel so safe talking about my feelings in my music.
That's so far.
Yeah. So
I want to go into Immaculate.
Yeah.
That was one of the things I wanted to talk to you about because I thought you were like really putting it out there about kind of the price that you pay when you're like in this industry.
Mm-hmm.
And so can you tell us about that song in particular? Because that's one of my favorites.
I love Immaculate. I feel like that song was like, it helped me in a way. Like I got over an extremely anxious episode that lasted for about 6 to 9 months through that song. It like released this fear that I had in me. And, you know, the meaning behind that song only stays so close to my heart because it is really hard to be in the public eye and you get all these people's opinions on how you're doing and how you look to them. Like, you get all these opinions you didn't ask for. And yeah, I felt free because it was through my music. And it's true, like, nobody's immaculate. So the people that are telling you have to be one way or you can't be one way because you were one way, the people who have everything to say, they're not perfect either. So that's why it's my favorite.
Life lessons.
Yeah.
Do you feel when you're let me go back. Let's get more positive. I feel like we went into the talk stuff. One line that heaven is inspired by An Affair to Remember, the lyrics are. And I was curious, do you watch classic films? Do you like old black and white movies?
I love old films. They're my favorite. I watch them more than like current films.
What are some of your favorites? Do you like the old romance stuff? Or
I do. I love An Affair to Remember. That's my favorite old movie. That's where the quote came from. It was a different wording. She was like, I was looking up, it was the nearest thing to heaven. So if you watch that film, it's the backstory. She has an affair. They were supposed to meet 9 months later because they both had partners. And when she went to go meet him at the top of a skyscraper, she got hit by a car and paralyzed and was never able to meet him. So he took it as she blew her off. Long story short, they eventually met up and it was a beautiful, happily ever after. And that's when that line came in. But I also love Sabrina with Audrey Hepburn.
I was actually just going to ask about Sabrina. I love Sabrina. I love,
Me too.
You know, Humphrey Bogart in that movie is just like the coolest, you know?
Yeah.
And
so
the
what
car.
happens in the movie? There was a happily ever after?
Yes, that's when they say the line, when they finally unite and she hugs him. So that's why it's my favorite line of the movie.
It's the 50s. All movies kind of ended like that in the 50s.
Would you say you're the like romantic type?
Definitely. I'm a hopeless romantic. Oh my God. And I don't know. I just feel like I'm always following like my intuition when it comes to romance, and it's never led me wrong. And I know people are going to interpret the song however they want to, but this is a rejoiceful song. People can look at me however they decide to look at me, but if they can't relate to it now, maybe they'll relate to it in the future or know someone who can relate to it. The person who leaves is not always the bad guy. And I'm entering my heaven. I'm entering what I want. I'm not going to stay held back because of what other people want from me. I'm in my heaven right now. So whatever they want to think.
Yeah. When you, because you're romantic, do you find that you fall hard for people quick and that you kind of let the romance aura kind of like cloud you sometimes? Or are you able to kind of keep your head straight and see the BS all the time?
Okay, so I'm a Cancer moon.
Dude, I was just going to say, what is your sign? Because I was like, having this Cancer feeling, I'm a Cancer too.
Okay, I love Cancers so much. I'm really close to Cancers. Wow. So I have a Cancer moon, and I feel like if I wasn't a Taurus and so goal driven and so like work ethic, I feel like I would stumble so much because I'm such a hopeless romantic. But my work ethic and just like the goals, like it always takes priority. And to this day, I thank myself for being a Taurus because I could stumble and fall when I go head over heels, you know? I'm scared. I get so scared of being hurt. I get so scared of hurting people. But like at the end of the day, I'm a Taurus. So I'm like, you know what? I'm working. Like I just am so stubborn. Like, as much as I am romantic, I'm like, if it doesn't suit me, whatever. Like it sounds so mean, but the stubborn Taurus in me is just keeping my head on my shoulders because I get so hopeless romantic. It's so easy for me to get distracted.
How do you like stay balanced too with like, because I know especially with YouTube, there's a lot of vlogging that you do. Your vlogs are like freaking iconic. How do you kind of like separate your work life from your personal life, or do you even do that?
Is there a boundary?
Like one thing.
I actually just started doing that after my ex and I broke up because we had a big following together. We posted a lot of couples vlogs for like 6+ years. By the way, him and I are still like best friends. I was just FaceTiming him last night. We talk all the time. We're just not romantic partners. We're literally just friends. And it ended up being a mutual thing. But I'll get into that when we talk more about heaven. But the way that I see it is just like people who want to know will figure it out. There's no way to hide stuff. They'll figure it out. But I'm not just gonna like put stuff out there anymore like I used to with my ex. Like we used to put our faces in thumbnails together and like make a whole title of a vlog about something with us. Now, if someone's in my personal life, great, they'll be a featured guest, but I'm not going to say this is my partner. I'm not going to say this is my friend. I'm not going to say this is my girlfriend. Like I'm not going to say that stuff anymore. And if people want to figure stuff out, they can figure it out. But I don't know. I'm over that chapter too, because now that I'm like getting older, it's like whoever I'm seeing, I have to take more seriously. I do want to have a family someday. And then when I do have a family, I don't want my kids' faces on the internet. So I really have to take a lot of consideration into who I'm seeing seriously, what I want for my privacy in the future. So yeah, I'm just taking those steps now and taking the blunt of it from the people who want to see more. But at the end of the day, those who benefited from you not having boundaries are the ones who aren't going to be happy when you finally put them down. So if they're going to be upset that I'm not telling them who my boyfriend is, then they can go. Mm-hmm. They're not there for the right reasons. They can listen to my music.
There we go.
Now, of course, you came up with your sister, Nikki. What do you guys, now you do your own thing now, but are you guys still close? Like what's your vibe right now, you and Nikki?
We're so close, but I will say at the end of the day, we are like co-business owners. So yeah, just like working with anybody, working with a friend, a partner, a sibling. Our parents work together. They're dentists, and growing up, we saw firsthand what it's like to work with family. Literally, history is repeating itself. I act like my mom, she acts like my dad, and we just butt heads the same way they do. So it's the funniest thing to see. And sometimes when we're having like these business conversations, I'm like, oh my God, your dad. And she's like, oh my God, your mom. I'm like, wow.
It's funny say, because like, if you just look clearly, I mean, you just look on your Instagrams, it's almost like you got such different vibes, you know, she's got dark, you know, hair black and all that stuff. And you're just like princess it's like, it's so different. And I get jealous because I'm an only child. So I just, this goes over my head. I just can't relate. So.
Yeah, I like being a twin. Like, I feel like I was born into this world with someone who just gets it. Like, I know it's like weird, but if I'm going through an issue and go to my sister, she just gets it. And I can't imagine not having that. Like being just completely on your own without someone who can't understand the things the way you do. Like, I just can't imagine.
Did you ever have a rivalry with her? Or were you always tight?
We had a big like fallout around 2020, leading up to 2020, like pandemic, quarantine. We did not have a tight relationship. People we were seeing or friends with at the time kind of benefited from us not getting along with each other. It was a mess. Like our friend group was a mess. It was just a lot.
I meant like when you were little kids, but
when we were little kids, we always fought. We got along, but we always fought. Like, I think it comes with being so close with someone, like, and sharing such a close territory, like a bedroom and classrooms and cars. Like, it's bound to happen as a twin.
Speaking of sharing, one thing that just came to mind when I think about twins, I have twin best friends, and think they have very different styles, but like of clothing. But like when it came to, you know, sisters sharing clothes, what was that like? Did you guys do that, or was it like a fight over a shirt? You know,
we would steal each other's clothes all the time. It would cause such a fight. And like growing up, Nikki was always that girl where if she couldn't find something, she'd be like, Gabi, you took it. And I'm like, I didn't touch it. I don't know where it is. Yeah.
That's always fun. That's always fun. Yeah, I missed out on all that.
Good. That was the really crazy part of growing up as a twin. Oh my gosh, the fights. You
talked about you've been on YouTube for, you know, a decade plus now. Mm-hmm. You've kind of become a woman on YouTube, literally. Do you sometimes wish that you would have had a more private, early 20-something, late teens kind of world?
Yeah, I was just talking about this with my best friend. We were just chatting about what we were doing in our 20s. And I was like, wow, you have such amazing stories from your early 20s. And I feel like I was just working. I wish I had those stories. And then he says, well, I wish I was doing what you were doing, like
grass
in the early 20s. Yeah. So it's, the grass is always greener on the other side. So
if you could go back to 2012, 2013, is there something you know now that you wish you would have implemented, that you wish you would have known back then?
I would have told myself to take more opportunities and stop following boys. Stop turning down opportunities to be home and next to all the boys that you're so concerned about. Like, because they don't matter. I mean, they matter, but like they don't affect your life in the future. So don't waste your time.
That is so cute.
Yeah, I used to literally make decisions based off of like, oh, but he's here. I don't want to be away. Like,
Aww.
no.
I mean,
So
hey,
silly.
It was that Lana Del Rey song. It's like, this is what makes us girls.
Yeah, exactly. I
You're
love
little.
Lana.
That's how it all is, you know?
Oh my God, you are a Cancer. You love Lana.
I
love her lyrics. She's
like
a Cancer
everything.
too. She's a Cancer too.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, we have a moment here. All right.
So
I feel left. I'm
Ariana
a Leo. I'm not an astrology person. I don't know really what that means, but what the repercussions of that on my romantic life, I'm not sure how that all.
You're like a leader.
I'm a leader. Yeah, I guess because it's like Leo strength. You know, I've had people tell me that. I guess I'm kind of leading stuff.
Nurturing leader. Like,
okay, I'll take it.
Other than Lana, though, like going for like, you know, back into the music realm, who are some of your pop idols?
Kim
Like,
Petras.
Yeah, if you could sit in, like, let's say cocktails with 3 of your favorite pop stars, dead or alive, like who would they be?
It's funny you asked that because Kim Petras is number 1, and I met her 2 times at Pride New York City, and we hung out backstage both times and talked for a while, and she said she watches my videos. So that was unreal. So I already did that, but definitely still Kim. Then I would say Ava Max and Lana Del Rey.
Wow.
It's a trio right there.
Yeah. I would have also mentioned Ariana. She's a doll. But I was in the Thank You Next music video.
Oh.
And yeah,
what was that like?
She's a very lovely person. It was amazing. I don't remember it. It was like a fever dream. Like I really just, it was such a shock that it just, like I really don't remember being there.
Not because you were high, but because you were.
No, it was just such a whirlwind experience. It was like just so crazy. I think when you get super shocked, you forget things. You know what I mean? Like when you're in shock.
I've met people that I admire, just like meeting, shaking their hands, and an hour later, I like don't remember shaking their hand. You know?
Yeah. No. Same. Yeah. Or people like you look up to that you meet, and then you're like, wait, I'm trying to hold on to that image because I know I'm going to forget it because it was so shocking, like that.
When I watched your latest vlog that you posted yesterday or last night, and you mentioned that it had been a few weeks since you'd done one because you're working on those music stuff. When you are working on especially because this is like a big single for you, and last year you had that album, do you kind of set the YouTube stuff aside? Are you able to do that, or and concentrate on music, or is it always everything 24/7?
It's usually always 24/7 because one project feeds the other, and like my fans, they love when I'm on everything, and so do I. I feel like I'm very OCD. I actually have OCD, and I get very bothered when I'm like ditching a platform for some time. The reason it could go a week to 2 weeks is usually because I'm also doing Nikki and Gabi, and there's something comes up. In this case, we have to reshoot a video because the brand didn't approve of it. So the day I would have set aside to vlog, like I couldn't. And then on top of it, I went to New York and I forgot my laptop. And usually I would edit on my laptop, even in that instance, because it was so long. But then I realized even if I brought my laptop, my libraries, presets, like music library,
as
everything.
As a video editing person, I got you.
I got you. So I don't want to half-ass my video. I want to wait till I could give it like everything that I give my videos. I'm such
so you edit your own vlogs.
Yeah.
That's that's refreshing. I just assume that all big YouTubers just hand the footage off and they got to tune.
I'll never give it up.
That's the most important part, right?
It's my favorite. It is my favorite part to see everything in front of me and like make it all go together. So I don't know. I will never give that up. I'm a control freak. I know my angles. Like I know what I want to keep in and what I want to take out. When I used to have an editor, I loved her. Such a doll, so sweet. But I have like this people pleasing in me where like I started feeling bad sending lists of notes. Can you take this out and put this in? Can you take this out and put this in? Take this out, take this out. This angle's bad. I felt so bad because it would just take forever. And it got to the point where I was only posting once a week instead of 2 times a week because it would take forever to get it perfected.
It was just
the way
easy to
that
do
I
it
need
yourself.
it. So it's like wham, bam, upload when I do it myself.
How does your family feel about like the two of you being so in this industry? How do they feel about that? They're little twins, you know?
They at first because they're dentists, they like didn't understand. They were like, you know, you got to prepare. Like the internet only lasts so long. And like I understood that. Like as a parent, I feel like I would be the same way. Thankfully, like through the grace of God, there's all these other platforms now. Now that like YouTube, there's more than just YouTube. There's TikTok, there's Reels, there's all this. So I understand where their concern was, and their concern is still with that, but now they're like more chilled. They're like, oh, okay, they got this. They're like internet girls.
Well, and your business model, it's sufficient. It's working.
Yeah, like the way that it's set up is just very easy for Nikki and I to like do our music. We're so grateful that we could even do music. It's like such an expense to do it when you're independent, when you're an independent artist versus with the label. It is, oh my gosh, I replaced my love for buying luxury bags with helping my music career. I couldn't do it all. One had to sacrifice for the other. So I guess like if you go back to my vlogs, I was really well known for like binge shopping and buying a ton of bags. And I also kind of had a little bit of a shopping addiction too. I mean, when your career is based on shopping, it's bound to happen.
Yeah.
She's like, now I'm going to the studio.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
I rather invest in myself and what I love to do. And it really kind of helped me snap out of that mindset and having that shopping addiction. It really helped to have goals. And, you know, I did have those goals back then, but I didn't think like it could be me. I was just like, oh, I started as a YouTuber who did covers. Like, how could I be a music artist? And I guess when I just went through a really big mental health journey, I realized that I shouldn't shoot my goals down. I should keep moving forward and know that anything's possible if you really love what you do. So in that case, it's okay if I get 2 designer bags a year. I rather just do my thing.
Yeah, but see, you gotta have 1 or 2 a year. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, you gotta, you know, yeah.
Was it like a retail therapy kind of like thing? Like
Definitely.
Wow.
Yeah.
I need to learn from you. Jordan makes fun of me all the time because he's like, Demi, like you wear your
Demi's the opposite. She has 5 shirts she wears.
5 shirts.
Yeah.
Well, there's a reason for that. I came to LA without a luggage, and I ended up staying here now throughout the summer. So like, you know, I'm
it's
also
kind of a
just
sign.
not,
it's like your vibe.
like this
summer.
isn't even my shirt.
Minimal
This isn't
summer.
my
You
shirt.
should go to Out of
Give
the
me that.
Closet in WeHo. Go to Out of the Closet. There's a store called Out of the Closet in WeHo, West Hollywood. They literally have like trendy clothes, thrifted clothes that are trendy for like $2 a shirt.
No.
Yeah, that's where like I got my whole LA wardrobe there.
I just think it's like the whole thing of going there and then you have to try it on.
Yeah.
You know.
That's why with handbags, there's no trying on a handbag. You just go, you like it, you know, like, you're good to go. You're good to go.
I almost bought this from the Barbie movie. There's this hand held little Louis Vuitton bag that she uses, and they were selling it in January, and I wanted it so bad, and because I wanted to put the song out, I was like, you know what? No, that $9,000 bag, goodbye. I don't need it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
When you were getting serious about your like going from YouTube covers and then there's like a moment where you're like, I'm going to be a serious artist with my own original music. Did you think about like the plan? Okay, I need to get a producer. I need to do this. Like, what was the moment that shifted? Like, I'm not a YouTuber anymore, just a YouTuber anymore. I also want to be a serious artist. How did that happen?
So what happened was I got really sick this December for 2 weeks. I had the flu. And I was previously working with someone else for music management, and I wasn't happy with where things were going. I felt like I was just sitting too much. I'm a go-getter. I love to work. I love opportunity. And I realized I'm not going to get the opportunities that I want if I don't just hustle for myself and regroup and make a whole new team. And so when I was sick, I used that time to build a new team and start over. And that was really hard on my mental health because I knew I was going to have to start from square one doing that. I was happy with how the release of my album went, but I felt like I was more focused on YouTube during the time that I put out that album. I feel like now I would have promoted it completely different. I would have set up a whole different like campaign plan. Now I feel like it's different with my team, and I feel like my fans have noticed. I've seen a few comments. It's like more taking control of my Instagram than just YouTube, and like just not just Instagram, but like social media. It's just more of a thing now, and it's just one song coming out, not an album. So I feel like this year was really, really hard to do that, because in order to do music, I have to work really, really hard, you know, with my main business and the other businesses that branch off of it. So I was really not sleeping well. I wasn't getting a lot of sleep, because when I should be going to bed, I was up like messaging with agencies overseas. And then when I would wake up, then my real-time East Coast team would start group chat messaging at 8 a.m. And then 12 rolls around, and then my LA team the group chat starts going off. And then my filming group chat starts going off. And then I have to worry about my vlogs as well. So it was just a lot from like December till April. My mental health was really bad. I actually made a video that I privated where I kind of just broke down to my fans, like, because they were saying I was giving weird energy in my videos. I wasn't like my normal self. But at the end of the day, like, I was just really, really overworked. And Nikki and I, we stopped doing Nikki and Gabi videos all year. So my main like businesses were my channel and my perfume. So I had to completely submerge myself into that. We had a podcast that we eventually like stopped doing. And we started picking up Nikki and Gabi again in April and May. Everything's been so much better since doing that channel again. We're having so much fun with it. I felt like something was missing when I wasn't doing it, because I've been doing that for 11 years. So I think to incorporate that back into my life helped give me a schedule and a routine. So now I do sleep. I know when to set aside time to message agencies. I know when to message, what times to set aside other group chats. So I feel like the whole putting music first was the only reason I put myself through that, because that's how bad I want it. So if you want something that much, like, you will do anything for it. You'll sacrifice sleep. You'll sacrifice your personal life. You'll sacrifice like missing family events. Like, you will do whatever it takes to get what you want to do. Like, I can't explain it, but I'm proud of myself for pulling through the spring, because it was really, really hard. I think when you're not getting the sleep that you need, it's going to show on camera, like not just physically, but like my eyes look so tired, and people could tell I was sad. But like, even though I was sad, I was still so happy to be reaching for something. But there comes a point where you need to like really take care of your mental health and find a groove and find your routine. And I think, you know, when I took those 2 weeks off after I made that video, I found my routine and I found my groove, and I think everything's been a lot better.
Now we'll let you go here in a minute, but we never really gone into the actual music of Heaven, the actual like what it sounds like and everything. And the production is kind of a mismatch, a mishmash, not a mismatch, a mishmash of different decades. I feel like there's some 80s in there. There's some like Y2K, like late Y2K, like 2007 Lady Gaga kind of sound going on there. So when it came to the sound of this single, how did the whole production come together? What were you going for?
So the sound was very, very inspired by like The Weeknd synth pop meets like Mamma Mia, like ABBA type vibes. Like, that's what it was inspired by. A little bit of Carly Rae Jepsen, Ava Max influences. Just the process, writing the lyrics happened way before I started recording. I wrote the lyrics on a flight home from calling off my elopement. And I added music with Lyre Music Group. I added the background in June. So yeah, it was like 6 months, a 5 month period where the demo was completed. And then the recording happened in late June, early July. And then I've been fixing it all year. I performed it in London when I performed in London in July, but that wasn't the master. I played with it a little bit more the rest of the year. I wanted to perfect it since that song means so much to me. And also because I was going through so much with my team internally up until December. So I've been sitting on it, and I'm really happy that it's out.
Yeah. So it's more than a year in the making. Wow.
Yeah.
Anything else you got, Demi?
Shout out.
Hmm.
I just wanted to also commend you on being like a multifaceted woman in this industry. Like, I think like everyone has their start. It's so cool that you started on YouTube. That's like such a, there's a lot of like Nepo babies and like industry plants, but like you really built your fan base like on your own while having fun doing it.
Yeah, you have like
cool.
evidence that you're not an industry plant. You have like, I have
No.
10 years of these YouTube videos to show that I'm not.
But how cool is that?
Yeah.
Shout out.
But I do
Thank
find
you.
that interesting about how people on YouTube evolve, how their careers evolve, how they change lanes, how they try new things. We just did a show with Tessa Violet a few days ago, and she's definitely like shifted to music after being just a YouTuber for a while. So I think the whole world's interesting to me. And I appreciate getting to know your routine and how you segment your days. That's really helpful. And so I guess the last thing what do you do when you're not working? That's the last question. What do you do to actually have fun?
I have fun like hanging out with my friends. Like when I'm not in a big city like LA or New York, I'm here in Pennsylvania, and that's why I still live here. I like have a whole friend group here. We go to the Renaissance Fair. We like have dinner parties. We dress up like Marie Antoinette. We're crazy. We're like we like have so much fun.
Are you Steelers or Eagles?
Oh, I don't watch sports.
Oh, you don't watch sports.
Did you hear me say I'm an artsy kid?
Yeah, I'm both.
Yeah, I'm so artsy. Musical theater, everything.
Okay, what's your favorite Broadway musical? Do you have one?
Wicked.
Nice. Good choice.
Yes.
Good choice.
I've seen it 4 times.
Oh my goodness.
Maybe we'll be casting it someday.
I saw Lion King 5 times. Oh, don't say that. Everyone will get so mad if I say, oh my God, I'm supposed to be. Oh my God.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us in the show, Gabby. Congratulations on the single, and we look forward to what you have going on next.
Thank you. I'm going to snap a pic for my story.
Okay. All right.
Cute.
All right.
This is like the new way. I feel like people like this and there's this, but it's hard to do this.
Oh, I can never do that. I like
too much. Yeah.
It's so weird.
I think it's my nails. I don't know. I can never do it.
All right, Gabby. We'll see you later.
See you later.
Bye, Gabby.
It's a pleasure getting to know you guys.
You too.
Bye.
All right.
Dope.
That was Gabi DeMartino.
Oh, I thought we were off air.
We're not off air. We can still high five. Just because we're still on the air. Yeah. So we just got wrapped it up. So we have a lot of stuff going on. New projects. Go to popdust.com for new episodes of Demi Ramos show where Demi actually talks to a person in real life, not just over video chat. And we have new photo shoots coming out. Demi's new single, by the time you watch this, will be out. Boys Like You, go stream it. Music video coming for that soon. All right. I guess that's it, right, Demi?
I blame the super gulp.
Super gulp.
Is this big gulp?
Big gulp. Good gulp.
Blame for all that.
And Demi, you're a big caffeine person.
Oh,
what's your favorite coffee drink or way to consume caffeine? Because I know you really don't do Red Bull. We already went over that. You really don't do Red Bull.
Okay, to be honest, like I get made fun of because I'm just not like very I'm not very picky with anything except for that sounds horrible. Except for maybe boys. But with coffee
and music production.
And music, yeah, like art boys we're picky about. But when it comes to like other things like fashion,
food and drink,
and I honestly think a 7-Eleven Big Gulp is so fucking good and refreshing, and everyone should get it. 7-Eleven over Starbucks.
So I will say I gave you a hard time for eating the gas station fried chicken next to my house.
That was one time.
One time, right? I gave you.
That was one time.
So I ate that myself yesterday, and it wasn't bad. I ate the chicken strips, chicken tenders. Not bad.
Did you walk there?
Yeah.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
He pulled a me.
Well, yeah, I walk.
You know he has to walk under a bridge.
I walk under a bridge.
Saying. Like, literally underneath the bridge. Like, shout out Kurt Cobain.
All right. We need to end this. Okay. As always, go to popdust.com for the latest in pop culture and music news. go to our Instagrams. I'm Jordan Edwards Studio. Demi's at Demi_Ramos for the latest on what we're doing. Until next time, we'll see you later.